Hello friends! In today's video we'll discover or talk about why am I or am I not a failed artist. It's my first kind of personal video on this channel in general on the internet, so I'm a bit stressed. On the one hand, I'm a very private person. I don't like to share too many things about my personal life. On the other hand, I know it's good for the channel, it's good to connect with audience, with you, and also there are things I want to share, so I need to overcome my issues to basically spark conversation and just to try to connect with other people. And I think not many people talk about this kind of topic online. That's why I wanted to make this video, and I thought it would be a good video to start my personal series type of videos, or basically share what's going on in my private artist life as well, and not just, teaching you and giving you insights about the art, history of art, but also how it is to be what I would call not a successful artist 21st century. And let's get started. My name is Nina. I'm not only an art historian, a host of this channel, but also an active artist. Or am I not? You might be wondering why? Well, because I haven't sold any single painting in 2025. Zero. Nada. Niente. Nothing. Nothing online, nothing offline. And for many people it will be a complete disaster, and they would be saying like, oh, you cannot be an artist if you don't make any money out of it. And no, my YouTube channel is not monetized, I don't get any money from my online presence, so there's literally no money for me from what I do as an artist or for my art in the whole 2025. What will be the structure of this video? Pages of me becoming an artist, where it got wrong, and at what point I am currently in. And I'll be accompanied by tea, because I have a severe tea deficiency in my body right now. So I'll be sipping tea and we're gonna have a chit chat. There will be nothing interesting on the screen, so you can listen to this video as a podcast. Do some stretches or light workouts or whatever. So first of all, as I said, it's my very first personal video on the channel, for the whole internet, for all the strangers that are on the other side of the screen. And also thank you very much in advance for watching it, because it means a lot to me that I can connect with so many people outside of where I am currently, and to even think that there are over 200 subscribers in my channel currently. And when I visualize this video, it's a lot of people, so thank you for being here. And maybe following my journey, or just getting some inspiration, getting some knowledge, staying creative. I wanted to start with why and how I decided to call myself an artist. Or was I an artist always? The answer will be yes. I've been always creative. I was always, as a child, I was always doing some craftsy things. I was drawing a lot and I was pretty skilled. I don't want to get in details exactly how I trained as an artist, because I am, by the way, I'm not an academically trained artist. I'm what we call in art sphere a self-taught artist. I attended courses, I had teachers, but I've never went through school. So that's what in art sphere we call a self-taught artist. I am a self-taught artist. And if you're interested about my journey as a self-taught artist, let me know and I'm happy to make a video. But basically, since childhood, I was interested in art, crafts, and I was showing not only interest, but I was somehow, I would say, showing a talent as well. So naturally, I was pushed toward that direction, and I was attending different classes, I had teachers and stuff like that, so all the skills were accumulating basically. But I was never calling myself an artist, even when I had exhibitions or I was taking part in competitions and I had my paintings hanging somewhere. I never considered myself an artist. I was just maybe a painter, a drawer, an illustrator, but never like an artist. I was actually calling myself more an artist when I was doing ballet, because I was way more active and I had many more things going on there, but that's another story. Only in 2022, because I happened to have at that point a very encouraging person in my life, and a person that believed in me, and I was not afraid anymore to hide myself as an artist and my art. And in 2022 was the year that I was very much thinking about myself as an artist. I was not saying it loud, I was not really anything outside of just thinking, but still I was already thinking about myself as an artist. It was like that bean or seed that you plant in a soil, and it was just there. You couldn't see it, but it was still there. In 2023, it was the year that I actually decided to show myself to the world and exclaim that I am an artist. So in 2023, I started introducing myself and talking about myself as an artist. So if I would meet new people, if I was writing something about myself or on behalf of myself, I also started, did my link in bio, did like my first website, payment methods, started thinking of how to sell my things. I created some of these print on demands with my art. I did things with like Printify, something else, I don't remember the name, but it's a British one. I spent a lot of time on them, never brought me any sales, and I'm not happy with the designs. So I'm not really like, I'm not happy with them. I'm not promoting them, but because I put so much work into it, I don't want to also like delete it, if that makes sense. But out of curiosity, you can just go and check the things, because if maybe you're on a similar stage or whatever, you can see what not to do, perhaps. Because that was a dedication, that time to, you know, all these listings there, and to never have even one sale. Mind that it was also the time that I still didn't have a particular style, or I had just one series of my abstract works, and I have them on Sachi. Why it's so hard for me to make such videos, because my thoughts jump from one thing to another. Now I want to talk about my abstract series, but no, you need to stay focused. So basically, in 2023, it was also the year that I decided to start selling my things offline, because after working for a few months on these online things and seeing no sales, I thought, okay, it cannot be like that. I need to put myself together and try to do some offline sales. Luckily, I was back then living in Edinburgh, very touristic place, and I came up with things that would be a pretty big hit for tourists. Maybe here actually I'll put some examples so you can see what I did. Color postcards from Edinburgh or watercolor sketches, because they were different format, between A5 to A4. No, I think I had even something smaller, like so I did some magnets as well, but most of the things I sold were A5 and A4. These are all original watercolors. They were sold offline in Edinburgh only. Till this day I remember my first sale. I remember you. If you're watching it, perhaps greetings. And this is what I did for 2 years. So basically in 2023 and 2024 I was selling offline. I never came to full-time income, and I never did it full year round. It was a seasonal thing to do for me, but it strengthened my belief in myself as an artist, and also I got first feedback from people, and I understood that wow, my art can be actually enjoyed by people. And even if, let's say, I didn't probably sell that many things, I still got, let's say, a lot of compliments and this kind of stuff. Keep in mind that already back then UK was having some financial troubles, and yes, I know I was aiming for tourists, but a lot of people were coming to me like, oh, I wish I could afford that, blah blah blah. But keep in mind, I was really not selling them for that much. That's also another thing. But I don't, you know, people's finances are their thing, and I understand that for someone it might be too much, even £30. And because I had offline sales, I didn't bother on focusing on online sales. I kind of forgot about that whole thing, and I was really working on those sketches. I was working on getting feedbacks. Later on, of 2024, 2025, I moved away from Edinburgh again, and that was the time when my offline sales stopped. And you would think, okay, so this is time to do online sales. That's what I was thinking as well, but unfortunately 2025 was a big mess for me. I'm very happy that in 2025 I was consistent with YouTube, and I started posting more professional looking videos. So long story short, I'm in 2025 because of various reasons very confused personally and lost. I didn't really have energy, time, inspiration to do anything. I tried to do some minor things, but it wasn't working, and I didn't want to think about any grand strategies and put a lot of effort. And as you can see, with little to no effort, you have no sales online. So in 2025, I basically naturally didn't sell anything because I cut myself off from the offline sales, and online sales attractive enough for people to purchase anything from me. On a good note, well, probably it's sad, but I like to be optimistic. So I had one interest in my artwork, and that was very nice. So that made my whole 2025, I would say, that someone sent me an email and asked about that artwork. So thank you. Thank you for that as well. So many people would say that, oh, because you failed in 2025, you didn't make any money, you are a failed artist, how dare you call yourself an artist? And the thing is, I dare, because one bad year doesn't diminish my whole life before and afterwards. I understand currently there's a massive crisis everywhere. I tried to set up some online sales, but it basically failed because I didn't create new systems, I didn't think of new strategies, I didn't produce any new works, so I didn't add any new artworks to what I posted in when I first created my website in 2022 or 2023. So yeah, basically I had that old website that I even stopped paying for the domain. If you go there, you will see that it's basically Google website. I don't have an online shop set up, and this is something I will be doing this year. But also what I wanted to mention on the side, that I am actually a very firm believer in like energy, and I have this very big dilemma whether I should be selling my originals only, or should I be selling also the copies, prints, digital downloads. For now I offer those things, but somewhere inside of me I really don't agree with that, because I honestly feel that only through a real painting that the artist touched, and put energy in it. Because if you just get like an online digital copy or printed it by some third party, I don't know, poster, print, it's just like machine, like there's no human touch in it. And especially in the era of AI, I think it's even more important when you want to be surrounded by art to have it like with a human touch. I'm actually very curious what you think about that. I know a lot of people buy art, and when I look at a lot of artists online, they say like, yes, selling prints, it's a very good revenue. But to me, I'm not really doing art because I want to make money, because I know there are better ways to make money than selling art. Let's be honest. I want to share, my idea, my energy, my love, my vision with the world because of my art. So if I sell prints and things that I didn't touch, I didn't contribute, I didn't put a piece of my soul in it, I feel it's soulless and it's pointless to do so. You're just doing it for money. If you get yourself an original and I put like a lot of good energy into it, you might also receive that energy. It's a very interesting topic, and I have no one to talk with it about that, so I'm very happy to discuss it in the comments or in the emails if you feel like sharing your opinion, your point, and how you feel about that. Anyways, let's go back to the timeline. You know, the life got on its way. I didn't upgrade anything, I didn't change anything, I didn't have any sales. I was busy with trying to survive 2025 year, and you might at least think, okay, but at least if you didn't sell anything, you probably created a lot and you painted a lot. And the answer is again no, because I am a failed artist, and it turned out that my 2025 was also extremely unproductive in terms of paintings, artworks, sketches, whatever. I think it was the least fruitful year in terms of art produced by me since however long I remember. So despite 2025 being completely unproductive in terms of artworks I had produced, it was also an extremely creative year because I was very low in terms of my painting and drawing abilities, but I put still that creativity I had in me into so many other things. I'm not gonna go into details into exactly what I was working on because some of the things I'm not ready to share on the internet yet, but I continued working on so many craft projects. I created a lot of drafts for the new projects I'm thinking of launching, and we will see if I will launch them in 2026. So not only I moved more towards craft, but also I came back to other things I used to do back in the day. For example, I started embroidery on clothes, some of the projects I did this last year. I also went again to miniature, call it a miniature painting if the paintings are this size now. What do you think? Not only that, I probably one of the most interesting things is that I went into gardening, which I hate in a way because I'm scared of spiders. I have arachnophobia, and if you're close to nature, you meet a lot of spiders. But in a way, nature was a brilliant healer for me. In 2025 I created so many decorations, I worked so much with bushes and shrubs and with branches and flowers and leaves. So I discovered this like nature related creativity as well, which was so interesting because if you would ask me a year before that, I would say no, I would never do anything in a garden because gardening is for grannies. I'm definitely not a plant person. All the plants I have, they die. Even the flowers that I receive, they don't last long, unfortunately. Creative endeavor I took upon myself in 2025, also related to like homesteading, was cooking. I kid you not, the recipes I tested, I improved, I came up with are fabulous. They're not only delicious, but they're extremely enjoyable to make and to consume and to clean afterwards, because I'm this kind of person that I hate recipes that require too many utensils, too many bowls, too much cooking, too many steps. I am all for simple, straightforward, delicious, clean, healthy cooking. So all the desserts I was making, they're almost no sugar there. They're like minimal ingredient lists, 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients required. No cooking, no baking. Don't get me started on all my cooking, especially the desserts I made last year, because this channel would turn into a cooking channel. We don't want that. But trust me, that was probably one of the nicest things I did into the whole 2025, being creative in kitchen. And a lot of people don't agree that cooking is art. I do agree that actually, especially high-end haute cuisine is art. Talk to any chef and they'll probably agree. But definitely cooking is a very creative thing. It's a craft as well. Use my creativity in that way. Cooking was a great escape for me in 2025. One of the coolest things I did, never thought of doing, was making my own butter from scratch. And I know that for many people it's like a daily life or quite normal to make their own butter. Not for me. 2025 was extremely creative. It wasn't productive, it wasn't fruitful in terms of artworks I created, but it was so creative in so many different ways I would have never expected before that. And if you're interested in how exactly I stayed creative without painting and drawing, I can also make a video about that, so just let me know in the comments. And you know why I still call myself an artist despite the 2025 that wasn't artistic at all. And no, it's not because I am talented, I am naturally creative. It's not because I sold my artwork and my art is in the houses of collectors across the 4 continents. And not because I have had art exhibitions or this YouTube channel. But you know why? Because I allowed myself to be artist. And I promise you, if you decide for yourself, if you make that decision and you allow yourself as well to do what your soul craves to do, to be who you want to be, your life will be much happier, much easier, and much more fulfilling. So just by allowing yourself to be who you really want to be inside of you, of course, except murdering, pedophilia, and other creepy. But if you want to be a whimsical forest fairy, go for it. If you want to be Gordon Ramsay #2, go for it. Who am I to judge? So I'm wishing you in this 2026 to stay truly who you are and to allow yourself what you want to be and who you want to be, and to be aligned with your soul. So that's all from me today, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Ciao!